We're all about mums, mess, and a little bit of science for your skin. This is Hot Mess Mums, brought to you by Magpie. Beauty and balance, powered by the natural benefits of magnesium. Katie Christian, aka the Hormone Healer. Welcome to the Hot Mess Mums Club podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's lovely to have you here. We have spoke about doing this for so long, and it's finally happening. I'm super excited because you are a trailblazer. I think all the women that are coming on this season are definitely trailblazers in their field. You specialise in female hormone health, the nervous system regulation. You're passionate about educating women how to look after themselves and how to avoid the mainstream narrative that we are often fed and surrounded by as well. And you work with thousands of women who are on the edge and sort of at the end of their tether, and you re-educate them so they can move forward and have a happier and a healthier life. How did it all start for you?
Oh, where do I start? So it all started with my own journey. Really, that's where it all started. And I was at a point in my life where I didn't want to be here anymore. Okay? That's how bad it got for me. And my daughter was really young. And I would probably feel okay for 2-3 days out of the month. Now, bearing in mind, I knew nothing about hormones. I didn't even know what they were. Okay, I didn't know nothing about estrogen and progesterone and how many days in a cycle. I knew nothing. All I knew at that point in time was I thought it was crazy.
So how old were you, like roughly, when that...
At that point, I was turning 30.
Wow. So that's, by a lot of standards, what we would say, that's quite young to be feeling like that.
Yeah. And I didn't understand what was going on. I was in a very dark place. And I just had unbelievable anger, rage, actually. Like, it was like, the only way I can describe it is a red mist. And it's like a blackout. That's the best way I could describe it, actually, a blackout. It's where you turn into somebody else. You know, like when Hulk transforms something into Hulk. That's what I felt like. I'd just be so angry, and then I'd go back to Katie. But I was just angry all the time, and I never got much joy from life, and I just didn't understand what was going on. So I went to the doctors. And she said, "You're late." That was the first thing. As soon as I walked in, not hello, "You're late." And I said, "I'm not late. My appointment's at 10 past or whatever it were." She went, "No, you're late." So when you go in that vulnerable anyway, to be able to open up to a stranger, you think that you can trust your doctor. And I'm not saying all doctors are like this, but this is my personal experience of what I had. You want to feel safe to be able to share what you're going through in hopes that they would be able to help you, right? And I said, "I've got a couple of things I need to talk about." And she went, "No, we've only got time for one." Because you only get 10 minutes, don't you? And you can only talk about one problem. So anyway, when she just said that, I got up and I left. I said, "I don't know why you do the job that you do. You're meant to help people." And I left. And I've been to the doctors a few times, and obviously what gets offered to you is either antidepressives or contraception. And I didn't want to personally be medicated. Okay, and there's not enough knowledge around contraception and HRT and things like that. For me, there's nothing wrong if that's what you want to do, but I just believe in informed choice, and we don't get an informed choice, we just get told. We don't get told what it does to your body or the consequences. So I don't even take a paracetamol. That's how bad I'm just like, yeah, this headache's going to make this headache go on its own. But yeah, so that was my experience with trying to get help. And I got dismissed and I got shut down, which made me feel even worse about myself. And I can just remember looking at my little girl and thinking to myself, I don't want her to go through this. I can't let her go through this. It's dreadful. And they call it PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, right? Which is like PMS on steroids, okay? It's horrendous. It's debilitating. And you feel suicidal. So that's what it's called today. So that was the turning point where I pulled myself out of that place and I went on to study female biology and study biologists and certain doctors around hormonal health. And it just took me on this uphill battle, let's say, because trying to find information on women's health is like a needle in a haystack. So I just delved into it deeply and tried to heal myself, tried to understand the female body. And I think when I was on that journey, what shocked me was that most things that women have been taught is based on a male model and not a female one.
Yeah, including fasting, which is a huge thing now that we see a lot where, and thankfully people are saying it, but please don't, train fasted and do those things because actually it can have such a disruptive effect on your body. And a lot of those studies, all of them are done on men. Yeah. And men can fast because it goes back to cavemen times.
Absolutely.
Their bodies are built to do that.
Yeah.
But ours definitely aren't. That's why we get hangry. We need to be fed.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple. We need food. We grow children.
Exactly.
We have periods. You have none of that. Do none of that.
Exactly.
Our bodies are so different.
Yes.
So, I mean, when you're finding out this, you think, oh my God.
It just all makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of how the world is built is on a male model, right? If we think about it, men have testosterone, women have estrogen and progesterone, like you say, we grow babies. Now, men get a replenishment of testosterone every 24 hours. They're linear, okay? Women have cycles between 28 to 35 days. Our hormones fluctuate weekly. So we are like that, men are like that. So the working week is built around a man, not a woman. Okay, the cycles are not factored in. We are cyclical. Yeah. So like the reason things like fasting, most diets the books are written by men. Trials, the first contraceptive pill was tested on a man. Yeah. All of these things is because the data is too complicated on a woman because she is cyclical. So they need simple data. And simple data comes from a linear pattern, which comes from a man. So that is why. And this is why when we go to the doctors, if that particular doctor isn't trained in hormone health, then he or she will read from a textbook. It will just be textbook training, old school data.
And so many of those doctors aren't, because there are so many women that will be listening to your story and will be going, that's me. That's what happened to me. That was exactly my experience.
It's happened to a lot of women. We're dismissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. We're dismissed and we're told, it's normal, it's your hormones, crack on. Go on, you go to work, do your 9 to 5 or do your overtime, come back, clean the house, do everything else, but sort the kids out. What's for tea? That's the worst question, isn't it? What's for tea, Mum? My mum hates that question. Yeah, she said to me the other day, for 40 years, Katie, I've been cooking tea, and the worst question is, what's for tea? It is though, isn't it? It's just there's such a...
Yeah.
We've learned to push through because we've not been heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And we just push through and we keep going until later on in life. And it normally hits about 40. That's when it hit for me. You wake up one day and you go, I'm done. I've just had enough of doing everything and holding everything, you know, like a bridge, and the foundations are just crumbling over the years. And there's something, I mean, I don't know if you can resonate, but something happens in your 40s where you're just like...
It's an awakening, I think.
It is. Like, for the first half of your life, everybody's building roles.
Yeah.
That's what we are doing.
And you're living up to those expectations as well, because we're being told you get a good job so you can afford a house, then you get married, and then you have children, and then you're done, and everything's okay. And we believe that, you know.
Yeah.
And I look at my 12-year-old now, and I'm like, please don't get married. Just, you know, she wants to be the next Simone Biles. I'm like, do it. Get sponsored by Nike, travel the world.
Yeah.
I'll be there carrying your bags with you. Live your life. Like, don't fall into that trap that we're told that we have to know now. You know, what we're going to be, what we're going to do, everything. And I do think now that women are, first of all, waking up to it, you know, which is great. And we're talking about this, that we won't accept, we don't want to accept it anymore. I can't remember who it was, but I'd read something where they said, you know, it also hormonally, when you're younger, your body's constantly telling you to reproduce. You know, you're supposed to be having babies.
Yep.
So everything's a bit switched in a different direction. But then when those hormones start to change, your level of being able to tolerate other people's BS and all of that stuff that goes around, it starts to crack.
Yeah.
It almost comes away.
Yeah.
You don't function the same.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't function the same.
Yeah.
Which I thought, well, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
I
know.
mean, you get old. When you get older, your body's changing. It's changing all the time, and it's an awakening, and it's an opportunity for you to either do something about it or stay the same. And I think we get to the point where we're just like, I think it's when you get older, life is so precious, and I think when you get older, you're like, I ain't got long left here. Life. You know,
you feel kind of halfway when you hit 40.
You do. There's something about it. Life time feels so more precious, and you, and I can remember now, like sitting on the bed thinking, God, I don't want to feel like this when I'm 50. I don't want to feel like this when I'm 60. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we need to act now, but the issue with that is it's comfortable, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Where we are, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And if we actually face the truth of our reality in our lives, that's actually discomfort. That's painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we tolerate, we accept, we adapt, we hope, we latch on. Women latch onto hope that things will change. And we stay quiet and we put up with things because it's easier. But what would it mean if we actually faced the truth of our situation? If we faced that discomfort, it would mean we'd have to make a decision. And that decision is painful. And we are so used to staying in this kind of comfort zone. And we stay there because the unknown terrifies us.
And it's choosing yourself, right? Within that. And that's something else we don't do.
What have we been taught to do? Women have been taught to do from day dot.
Everyone else comes first.
We have been taught we must be chosen. Okay? The most beautiful woman gets chosen. Okay? She's got to fit in with these standards that society has put on her, right? So women are taught to be chosen. Men are taught to chase status. That's why men look for a lot of things externally, not internally, and women look for that validation internally. And you've got this miss of communication. So that's why men chase a lot of status and ego. And 9 times out of 10, they're trying to impress other men. And the woman, she just wants to be chosen. She just wants to be seen. She wants to be heard. She wants to be validated. She wants, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, she wants her needs met. She wants someone who
understands.
And there are men that do.
Yes.
But she wants that person that meets her in the middle and sees that load and picks it up for her.
Yeah.
You know, the worst thing for any woman is to have children with a man, but that man to feel like another child.
Yes.
And I hear that a lot.
So do I.
And it is, you know...
It's true.
It's true. And, you
Some
know...
of them are kids.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And you end up just taking it all on and doing it all, you know. And it gets exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel invisible. That's where you feel transparent. You know, do I matter? Am I being chosen? And we stay because we latch on to hope that you can change them or things will change. And what do most women say? I wish I'd have left years ago.
Yeah.
That's what you hear a lot of. I wish I'd have left years ago.
Yeah.
But we don't, we stay because scared of the unknown. And I was talking about this with my mum the other day. I said, you know what, mum, though? I says, women were taught to be chosen, but back in the day it was survival. Mm-hmm. If you think about it, a woman's purpose was to be with a man because a man needed to provide for her because she needed to survive, you know? So financially, we stayed in relationships a lot longer than we should have done. Even if that man treated her like shit, we'd stay because we don't have the funds, the money, the opportunities, you know. So it's survival. It was survival back then, but it's different now. Women can take care of themselves. They can provide for themselves now. It's changed. But I think for me, because of my generation, I was brought up where the man is the provider and the woman stays at home. So that's the dynamic that I have followed, even to recently. I have attached myself to a man and made my entire life about him because he's the provider, he's my stability, he's my safety net. And I did sacrifice my entire life, everything, and made my entire life about kids and about, you know, my partner, my husband, my family. And that's what I did. I don't know how to give that stability to myself because I was never taught it. I don't know how to do that yet. That's what I'm navigating now. I've gone from relationship to relationship to relationship because I need that security and stability because I can't bring that to myself because I've never done it.
I think there are so many women, myself included, that totally relate to that and can understand it.
Yeah.
We just don't talk about it enough. And that is something that you are talking about a lot at the moment with the work that you're doing. I feel like all of the stuff that you are sharing on, particularly on your Instagram, is very powerful. Right now, you know, because people don't want to talk about it when it goes wrong. A bit like, you know, when you're having a hard time with your hormones and life's beating you down and, you know, it's not something you just go to work and tell everyone about. And relationships are the same. I mean, you're mentioning a lot there about how we were brought up. I was always brought up to be extremely private. You know, that there's a lot of shame in admitting that things aren't okay in your family.
Yeah.
So you don't tell anyone, you don't tell anyone, you don't tell anyone. And I didn't realise the damage that had done to me, you know, until I was in my 40s. And actually, I'm in therapy and it comes up a lot, you know, that there's a shame. And I think sometimes shame can keep you also where you are.
Yes.
Because you're like, I don't want to say this. I don't want to, you know, what people are going to think.
Yeah.
And you have that in your head, which is massive. You're breaking that taboo by sharing your journey, your personal journey.
Yeah.
And helping lots of other people as well. Because it can come at a time, Katie, when women are struggling with their hormones and they don't know. Like, and I've had this where I think, is it the relationship? Is it what's going on in my life? Is it my hormones? Is it both?
Yes.
And that can play a huge role.
Yeah.
And actually, when you're trying to leave a relationship, when you come to the bad part of your cycle, often it will keep you there for those two. And because all of a sudden you're very sad and you're crying and you're grieving. Then you come out of that and you get stronger again. No, I'm leaving. I'm definitely going. And you go round and round and round. There can be all sorts going on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For women around that.
Yeah. Lifestyle obviously plays a massive factor in how you handle stress. So if your lifestyle is poor and then your relationship ends, that's a double whammy. But I think people get confused and they say, my hormones is what's causing this. My hormones are causing this. Yeah. It's not, it's the other way around. Okay. If you've spent your entire life living on 1,200 calories, running 6 days a week, carrying the load, carrying everything, then your hormones will suffer. Okay. You can get away with it when you're younger, in your 20s, you've got a metabolism of, you know, whatever. But when you get older and things start to slow down, you can't. It's your body's way of saying things need to change now. We can't carry on with that fight or flight that you've been doing for the last 20, 30 years as a woman. We need to change things. So if you have a poor lifestyle getting older as a woman, your symptoms are going to be a lot worse. If you take care of yourself, your symptoms are going to be a lot better than somebody that doesn't take care of themselves. And then add everything else onto it, like a relationship ending or something happening at work, or, you know, somebody, you know, like passing or whatever it is, like something ends and you don't take care of yourself, everything's just going to feel so heavy and it's going to be hard. This is why it's really important to take care of yourself, to look after yourself. I think the issue that we have now is there's so many people that are saying so many different things.
Yeah, the misinformation.
There's a lot of misinformation. And so now when people ask me questions and when I work with women, I say, don't worry about all this jargon. Don't worry about all these people reinventing the wheel, okay? Go back to basics. Just get the base. Don't worry about these supplements. Don't worry about Sharon down the road's doing that. Don't worry about it. Just focus on the basics, right? Are you eating enough? Are you having balanced meals, carbs, fats and proteins? Are you eating enough protein? You're moving your body. Are you sleeping well? How is your digestion? Get those right first before you start looking at all these other branches of different things. Because at the end of the day, everybody's selling something.
Well, and we're being sold now a lot of quick fixes to everything. You know, we're seeing that massively.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, don't worry about exercising more or eating healthily, because actually you can order something online and it's going to sort you out. I mean, everything has its place in a certain situation, a certain case maybe. But I think what it does is it sends this message of, you don't need to do the work, you know.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we do, because we've only got one of us. And I always say with all of this stuff, you just don't know what it's doing to you, you know, to go down that route. But it's very much part of, you know, the world now.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, like these kind of things that we see online now, you know, you don't need to exercise, you can take the supplement and it just gets rid of your belly fat, blah, 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 blah. They're all shortcuts, the quick fixes. But shortcuts lead to the longest road at the end of the day. Because where do we end up? We end up back at the start, even heavier, feeling even more crap about ourselves. And we're like, oh, well, and nothing changes. Oh, I'll start Monday. Oh, I'll start Monday. And you end up going back to the same or even worse than what you did when you originally started.
A lot of the clients that come to you, a lot of the women have been on that merry-go-round, haven't they?
Yeah.
And then they find you.
Yep. And I think consistency is the biggest thing. We get lost and we change our mind all the time. We don't spend enough time doing it to know that it's working. That's the problem. And then we move on to something else. So your body's like, what are we doing today then? Or we're going to fast today, or we're not. We're going to eat breakfast today. Your body's just guessing all the time. So we need to stick to what you've set yourself, or what if you're following a plan, or if you're working with somebody, stick to it consistently. Because if you've spent 10, 20 years doing shitty habits, they're not going to undo in a few weeks. Do you know what I mean? You want results that are going to last, you know. So you have to give yourself compassion and time to undo these habits that you've created, rewiring the brain. And that takes time. That don't happen overnight.
And it's finding the right support as well. I want to talk to you about something I genuinely wish someone had told me sooner. magnesium. Not in a take this supplement kind of way, but the kind that you absorb through your skin while you literally just standing there in the shower or soaking in the bath. Magpie is built around that idea. Clean, science-backed skincare that works with your body, supporting your nervous system, easing stress, helping your hormones find a little more balance. Whether it's the shower gel that you grab every morning or the bath salts that you finally make time for on a Sunday, it's not about perfection. It's just about giving yourself something back. Magpie Beauty and balance powered by the natural benefits of magnesium. Find them at magpieskin.co.uk. Going back to that relationship discussion, often when women haven't got that support, that again makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're not being met halfway, you're carrying a load whilst also being expected to look after yourself and looking after your food. It takes effort.
It does.
It's not.
Yeah.
If it was easy, everyone would look great and would be fit and healthy.
Absolutely.
Prepping your food, thinking about what you're going to eat.
Yeah. It's actually very hard for a woman to look after herself because of all the roles that she's built and, had over the years, the responsibility she carries alone most of the time. Not in all relationships, but most of the time the woman carries it alone. And then we don't talk about it because there's no point. There's no point talking about it because we get dismissed. We get shut down. And then we just don't feel heard. And then we just do it. It's like we're unconscious. That's what it is. Unconscious. 95% of people are walking around unconscious. Only 5% are conscious. How scary is that?
It's the sleepwalking analogy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's autopilot.
Yeah.
We get up, we do the same thing. We have the same jobs to do, we say the same things. It's the same, and if people want change, you've got to change your routine. And that's not easy to do. It's terrifying.
And even more terrifying when you change not just your routine, but your whole life and the people you surround yourself with as well.
Yeah.
A friend of mine said to me recently, you'll have those 4 or 5 people in your life that you'll see every day or you'll speak to every day. And it's very important that those people are people you want in your life that are good for you because they can have such an effect on you if they're
massively.
not.
Yeah.
And it really stuck with me because I thought, oh my God, that is so true, isn't it? So if we are in an unhappy environment in our home, that is an everyday situation.
Yeah. You know what? Something that's everything I talk about is on my own, what I've been through myself. It's my own experiences because it's like, I don't know, I think people call me a bit of a translator. It's like whatever I go through, I then translate it into a way that lands for people, I think. But it's all based on my own experience and how I feel. And I think, maybe this will help somebody else. But if you think about it, no problem's unique. We're all pretty much going through the same thing, similar. But when my marriage broke down last year, when you talk about environment and you talk about the people around you, now that is crucial. Because what I realised is you've got people that like to make you feel like crap. So they'll start planting seeds in your mind about telling you what they're doing or telling you what they're up to, even though it's not the truth. But it's like they thrive, on you being upset or, you then, as a woman does spirals. That's what we do. We spiral. We create these stories in our mind because our nervous system is used to that familiarity, even though it's painful. We go there because that's the norm for us. We're trying to protect ourselves by the worst case scenario. So toxic people in your life will plant seeds and they'll get an enjoyment out of planting that seed because of their own life. And even though you're good to them, you're a good friend or you've been friends with them for a long time, that's what I realised. When my relationship ended, like people who I classed as friends was putting seeds of doubt in my mind, even though I was at rock bottom, even though I was struggling, even though I was already telling myself worst case scenarios. Because when a relationship ends, especially with somebody you loved very much, your mind goes to all sorts of different places. It goes to, oh, he's going to find a better woman, a younger woman. He's going to be living this type of lifestyle, and I think a lot of the time my mind would spiral and go to all of these places, and then you've got these people in your environment feeding it, So when you don't have good people around you, you're kind of in that cesspit with them.
Yeah.
You can't heal in that. You can't heal in that environment. So you need to take yourself away, so you lose people. And you're glad you lose them because obviously they're not good people to be in your life.
But it's at a time when you're losing a relationship, something that you've invested in.
Yeah.
As you said at the beginning of this chat, something that was really the centre of your world with everything you were doing.
He was everything to me.
Yeah. Not to focus on him, but obviously you two were more in the spotlight.
Yes.
Sort of more recently.
Yes.
But before that, everybody knows within the business that he was in, it takes a very long time to get to the level he has got.
Yeah.
And you were very much part of that journey, that phrase, behind a great man, there's always a greater woman. And it's so true.
Yeah.
And you held that together.
Yeah. That is very true. The thing is, our work don't get seen and clapped for. Okay. That's the truth of it. The woman behind the man doesn't get clapped for. That doesn't get recognised, and also doesn't get seen as an income in the end. And it's hard when you've helped somebody get to a point and you don't get chosen in that life. And that's something that I'm still processing now, that I'm still struggling with.
Do you feel like that it was a choice he made and he chose the sort of limelight more than what he had at home with you?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. His career was very important to him. He was a bodybuilder before, so anybody that's a bodybuilder or knows that kind of lifestyle knows it takes a lot of sacrifice. And it was for 10 years. Has supported that lifestyle, and it was very hard. But I was so passionate with him. I felt his passion. Like I said, I made my entire life about him because that's just how I grew up. And yeah, at the end of the day, we were on this path of we're building the same dream together.
Yeah.
Okay, we're building the same thing. But then when the one bodybuilding ended, he then obviously went on to the next thing, which was an amazing opportunity. But I had the feeling, as a woman does, because we're intuitive, I thought, what is going to come from that lifestyle when somebody's in the public eye like that? What does that mean for me? So I was exposed to that lifestyle for about 3 years. So I learned a lot. And it's a lonely lifestyle because you're not included in it. Okay, it's not bring your wife. It's not a +1. That's just that world. So you feel very much pushed out, and left out. And obviously, the more you get sucked into that world, let's say, it's very, there's a lot of attention, surface level attention, quick attention.
Yeah.
And when someone's exposed to that type of attention, like, how does one deal with that type of exposure, And then come back to your normal family life. It must be, I don't know how I would personally deal with it, but when you're not included in it, and then you just, I think what I felt is the more he went into that world, the more distant he became. And the more I leaned in, because that's what women do.
Yeah.
Okay. When they pull back, we lean in. because we taught to earn love, because we need to be chosen. So that's what we do. So you lean in more, you lean in. But the more you lean in, the more to lean out, you know? So, yeah, if anything, the lifestyle that he ended up going into just emphasised the cracks even more. That's probably the best way to put it.
And all that was going on while you are coaching
women, trying to build a brand. Trying to build that security for myself, which, by the way, I'm still trying to do. Because what looks good on social media doesn't necessarily mean that that person is successful. I'm going to tell you that now. You can have 250,000 followers, you can have 20,000 followers, okay? Doesn't mean that you make a lot of money from social media. A lot of what's shown is the highlight reel. It's not the truth. And I think I've realised that it's just cheap attention, okay? That's what it is, just cheap attention. So somebody that's building something real with depth doesn't get pushed by the algorithm. Somebody that's pushing surface level attention, you know, so a quick attention gets pushed.
Yeah. And if you are a real person who believes in authenticity, and I know that you do, it's very difficult to be on there. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but it is very difficult. One of your most powerful posts, which had me in tears, was the one you did about packing your kitchen up. So you did this amazing post, and it was about the loneliness of being left to put everything in boxes. You know, the relationship ends, the home that you live in is no longer going to be your home. And you're the one that's there, left standing, to go, okay, and doing it all.
Yeah.
I was so moved by that post. It was so powerful. I remember watching that and thinking how many women right now will be viewing that and going, oh my God, not only that their heart is breaking for you, but that they can relate so much to it, either from their own journey or a close friend that's gone through a similar situation.
Yeah.
Because again, it's these things behind closed doors that no one thinks about. Everybody wants to gossip. Oh my God, you know, like you said earlier, planting seeds, stirring. Wow, you know, the end of a divorce, the end of a relationship. What happened? This, and no one wants to really know that kind of stuff that we go through on our own. That we're left dealing with.
Yeah.
I feel like your page is so much about the powerful truth.
Yeah.
You know, whether that algorithm chooses to push it or not, and it should, because it's real life. It's real life. It's real life.
It's what I was saying earlier. It's the invisible load that women carry. And the things that are celebrated and clapped at are the wrong things that are pushed. And if we need more depth and realness to build something real and authenticity in the world, we need more people to be real and stop hiding behind the persona, the mask. And people keep strengthening that mask. People hide behind a mask. We all do to some degree. But the world needs more depth, and the world needs more authenticity and realness, because we're here to build something real. That's the most important thing.
Can I ask you, when you put those posts on, particularly initially, going back to what I was saying earlier about how some people feel shame over things, you know, and don't want people to know, bearing in mind, bigger platform, well-known couple, was there a point where you were like, should I do this? You know, oh my God, I am going to do it. I am going to share this journey with everybody. Like you say, the translator, which you very much are.
Yeah.
But was there any time where you thought, oh God, you know, should I do this?
Yeah. I've been suppressed. There's a lot of things that I've wanted to speak about before, but I couldn't because of how it looked. Even though it's not particularly about people or certain people, I wanted to share a lot of what I've been through. There's stuff I've been through that I haven't shared yet, because I got made to feel shame. You know, like you were saying earlier, like, why do you want to talk about that? Do you know? And that's how,
I want it to look a certain way. It's got to look a certain way.
Got to look a certain way. So then that becomes all about image, you know. But that's not real. That's not me. So when my relationship ended, that was my opportunity to be me as I am, who I am. And and show it to the world no matter what anybody said. I just didn't care. I don't care.
What's the next chapter for you? Because I feel like you've come so far. You said, you are learning to trust yourself again and to, be enough for you. You are dating the fuck out of yourself
Yes.
for all of this year, which I love that phrase so much. We should have T-shirts saying that.
We should, shouldn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you're doing it.
I am. I'm learning to be with myself, and that's one of the hardest things that we struggle with, is learn to be with yourself without distracting yourself or attaching yourself to somebody or something. My biggest focus is being aware of things that come up and changing that, and that's the hardest thing. You can be aware of your patterns, but then changing your pattern will be the most difficult thing you do. So I've been challenged in so many ways. But the goal for me is to give myself the security and the stability, not somebody else. And I'm working on that daily. Yeah.
We love that. I love that,
Yeah.
And I think for our female listeners now, everything that you've said today, is so moving and so very powerful. What would you say to any woman listening right now who has been where you were, who is in a situation where they are alone and carrying the load, and perhaps things are coming apart for them and they need to make that choice of whether they're going to choose themselves, because it's a scary place to be, as you said.
Yeah, it's very scary. And the only reason we stop ourselves from doing it is because we are shit scared of the unknown. It terrifies us to our core, because we have spent our entire lives running the same pattern. So doing something different or changing that or facing the truth of your reality is the hardest thing that you'll do. But this is what I'll say. I'm 42. And it's true what women say. You wish you'd have left years ago, right? It's true. You do not give yourself or lose yourself in a relationship for a man, and the same for a man for a woman. Do not make your entire identity about that person, okay? It's really, really important that you have your own thing and you build your own life. And I know that's not easy because we've only been taught to put everybody else first. It's really, really hard. But trust me, you do not want to get even into your 40s, your 50s and 60s and be like, feel stuck, stuck in that relationship or stuck in that situation. Because the only way I'll describe it is you can either have it quick and painful, or it can be slow and painful.
Yeah, my best friend said something about, she said if you're in hell, you run faster.
Yeah.
That's what you do. She said, else it's more painful.
All we're doing is just delaying pain. That's what we're doing. But what I'll say is that pain is a lot quicker than staying in something that's a slow death. And you wake up one day when you're older and you can't move and your hips are cracking and you can't do the things that you did when you were younger, and you say to yourself, oh, gosh, I wish I'd have got out sooner. Yeah.
We're going to move to a bit of TLC talk now.
Okay.
So bath or shower girl?
Both.
So we would love your bath time or shower confessions. What does it mean to you to take that time out? And, we've had guests that say they have their most creative ideas during that time.
Do you know, there's a thing, isn't there? When you go in the shower, you can have your best ideas. And it's true. When I'm in the shower, my mind just goes to all different places, and I can have my best ideas in the shower about, I think it's a reflection on my day, and then I have a learning point from it. It's like something in my brain goes, oh, that's what that means, and then translates it, and then I'm like, I need to talk about that, you know. So yeah, and a bath, music for me. Music does something to me.
Are you a Julia Roberts Pretty Woman, headphones on, singing in the bath to yourself?
It moves me in ways I can't describe. Like I feel vibrations from music. It can be anything, but I'm not someone who can sit and meditate in silence. I can't, my brain just, but if I put music on, I don't know, it calms me. And I'm able to go beyond in terms of thinking and processing and understanding. So yeah, I would say that when I take that time out for myself, I have my best ideas. And also I understand myself more in those moments as well.
You're not doing anything else, are you? You're just there.
Yeah, I know. And just really thinking about, okay, what do I want? What do I need in this moment? Or recognise something I've been doing today that doesn't serve me. And it's because I didn't ask myself, okay, what do I need? And I'm trying to get what I need from somebody else, but you need to give that to yourself.
Could we have our two powerful takeaways for our listeners from you today? Because I feel like it's been a very powerful, very inspiring conversation. Two things you would like them to take away from you, your story.
God, that's a good question.
I should probably ask these at the start so you can note it down.
So note it down and think about the answers, yeah. Women are powerful. We're really powerful. And we don't actually realise how powerful we are. So my best advice is, as hard as it is, spend time with yourself. And if you struggle, learn to do it. Because if you learn to do it, these amazing, powerful messages come through your body. And you start to understand yourself better and what you want and what you need. And don't be afraid to say what you want. That's really important. Even if it's falling on deaf ears, don't be afraid to speak up and speak your voice and use your voice and be vulnerable. If anything, on my social media, I'm like an open book. And your problem isn't unique. We're all going through it. And I think the more that we are open and speak about it, the more that we come together and the more that we are powerful together.
I know you're a big fan of magnesium as well.
Yes.
And all those lovely things. And our lovely brand, Magpie, have got some really lovely goodies for you. But you are a big fan. I know that from working with you, of taking it orally and obviously topical as well. So bath salts and shower gels right up your street.
Rub it all on your body. Just bury yourself in it, yes. Especially for women because of our high stressful life. We need something to keep us nice and calm. So yeah, magnesium, bathe in it. Take it, drink it, rub it on your skin, whatever you can.
Katie Christian, thank you so much for being on the Hot Mess Mums Club podcast. You're a joy. I hope you come back soon as well. And you can find Katie at The Hormone Healer.
It's actually at Katie Christian now.
Oh, is it? Or have you changed it? Oh.
I have. Hormones is part of my identity, but it's not the whole part. Right. So Katie Christian's in a whole, because I just don't go into a box, I don't think there's a box for me.
Well, I see the more relationship as well.
Yeah, there's lots of mixed different things, but yeah, you can find me at my name at Katie Christian. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on as well. It's been amazing.
It's a pleasure. I love you very much.
Thank you.
Real life, real talk, and really good self-care. This is Hot Mess Mums, brought to you by Magpie. Beauty and balance powered by the natural benefits of magnesium.